Leo, happy solar return to you. I am here to give you a once in a blue moon wild card read straight from the hip with lots of lip. And we are looking at the blue supermoon in Pisces that is coming up on August 31st. What is it going to be bringing in for you? And of course, you're kicking off this next in our series of supermoon readings. Because it's your solar return, it's your birthday, so you get to be first in line during your season for any new reading series that comes out. And so we're just going to dive right in, and we're going to see what is coming in for you during this time period leading up to this blue supermoon in Pisces on the 31st, and what it's bringing into your life. What opportunity is it bringing in for you? What will be the energies playing out? We got some big, bold new beginning for you coming in at that time with the Ace of Wands. This is really going to be the start of something that's going to kick off big come fall. This is a fall season timing card. So there's some real strong action you're taking at this time. I think right now you're trying to get a view into the situation. You might be doing a lot of work behind the scenes with that owl medicine there. Maybe you're making moves in the dark. People don't know what you're up to. They think you're kind of MIA, but actually you're just getting things cooking behind the scenes. You got something brewing. Okay, let's see what we got here. Yeah, I think you're trying to kind of like balance some things out right now. I think you're also weighing up options. You're trying to decide what direction do I want to head in? What particular action do I want to take? I feel that out very strongly. This has something to do with wish fulfillment with that Nine of Cups. All right, so let's see what we got going on here, Leo. What is Leo trying to balance out with this supermoon cycle we're in leading up to this blue supermoon in Pisces? What is Leo trying to balance out? I think you're trying to balance out some karma. I feel this very strongly. There might be some debts to pay, some things to settle before you can move toward your wish fulfillment. This is just an initial insight that's coming forward. I think you've been trying to move forward in this situation, but it's been a little bit tricky. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, part of the problem is that there's been too many defenses in place. I think the walls need to come down a little bit. Somebody needs to unblock their heart, if you're going to find a way through in this situation. It is giving me love vibes. Let me go on this. Look at this. Big defenses up here. A lot of shielding oneself. I also feel like this is somebody who really, they want commitment. They want it to be like all in. None of this wishy-washy. You got 1 foot in, 1 foot out. None of this, It's like, you really have to know that you're in it to win it, to move forward with this thing. Somebody here is really wanting somebody to give full-on commitment in this situation. They're not willing to compromise on that. I do feel like this is a situation where you may be dealing with some opposition. Maybe some people won't agree with the way you want to move forward. They have different ideas about how you should move forward. This could also be your eyes are set on a very prized goal, okay, where you might have a fair amount of competition here. Ted just said yes, so you got a fair amount of competition here, but I feel like you're trying to really cultivate that one thing that makes you stand apart from everybody else. You want to rise to this challenge. You want to get it to a place where nobody can even touch you, what you bring to the table. And I feel like this is what you've been doing behind the scenes, okay? You've really been focusing on yourself. And there's that symbolism again of kind of finding your way through the dark, okay? So I do think whatever you're doing, you might be burning the midnight oil too. I got that. You might be really working on something at night, maybe you got your day job, so you're really busy with that during the day, but at night you're working on some side gig or something. It's got that feel, there's something where you really want to rise to the challenge and you want to rise above the competition. You want to be untouchable. This is wish fulfillment for you. But there's also something here about letting down the guard and a need to balance out karma. So Well, I wonder what this is about. Let's get some more details in this situation. This is an interesting picture emerging for you. I can also see this in matters of the heart where maybe you decided to go your own way because you were in a situation where you just weren't getting the kind of commitment you wanted. You may have had a lot of people coming toward you, that just wanted, to hook up. They wanted to have a good time, but they weren't really willing to get serious with you. And it was always kind of like these kind of half-assed promises that never came through. And I think maybe you felt a lot of passion and connection with this person, but it got to be a point where you had to really stand on that. And you might have let your guard down even. You might have even expressed how you were feeling, that you wanted something deeper, and you just kind of like a lukewarm reaction. And so you were like, fine, I'm going to go my own way. I'd rather take my chances elsewhere. I'm holding out for my wish fulfillment. Okay. I feel like it's coming through on multiple levels, of course, as these always do. These messages always come through. There's something you're wanting here. You're wanting I feel like you're wanting some moment of success. I got popping bottles, toasting, a celebration, I feel like for a lot of you in terms of romance, you want the whole enchilada. You don't want somebody who's going to, keep you on the sidelines. You don't want something superficial. You want somebody who's they want to put a ring on it. You want somebody who is really in it with you. A lot of you want, you want some traditional, some traditional ideals. You want to be married. You want to have the big party. You want to have your special day. You've been dealing with somebody who is just very guarded. Maybe this person really prizes their independence. They don't want to give that up. They like the idea of having people kind of fight over them. I don't know why I got that. And maybe you were fighting over, oh, I get it. Maybe you were fighting over, ooh, there's a gnat there. Okay. Yeah, maybe this has been a real irritation for you. You're like, look, do you want me or not? Don't make me have to try to fight for you. What is this? You might have got caught up in it for a while, though. I feel like that with the 9 of Wands. And then I feel like you got tired of it. You're like, what about somebody fighting for me? Nobody's fighting for me here. Why am I being thrown out of balance in this situation? Just trying to get something to move forward. If we're really feeling each other and if this is real, why am I even dealing with this? I think you might have even taken some time to yourself for a while, just to kind of go your own way and get in touch with your soul. Is this feeling right to me? And you might have just decided that it was best for you to just kind of go your own way and focusing on nourishing your spirit and just trusting when it was time, what's meant for you will show up on your path. So let's see how this is going for you. What is this blue supermoon going to bring in for Leo? I mean, we see there's some kind of wish fulfillment, is on the table here. This is what's hoped for. Okay. I definitely see for a lot of you, this is in relation to your work. I feel like you're kind of doing that right now. It's got big kind of moonlighting energy, or, working on something late at night, when you have the free time away from your regular job, you've been putting something together. You might have a really great idea, a really great idea. You haven't seen anybody else do this before, and you know that in your particular field, it's going to set you apart. So you might have needed to kind of closely guard this. I don't feel like you've really been talking about it to people. I think you want to have a big win in this situation. You really want this to pop off and be successful. And so I really just keep getting this image of somebody up really late at night, but they're jazzed, they're lit up, they got some real creative idea, and they know it's a money maker, and they know they got to protect this because if they don't, somebody could, run off with it, and then they're going to be back in this spot again. Maybe you've been in this position before where you had great ideas, but you let other people in on it, and then you found somebody else took your idea and ran off with the bag. You know what I'm saying? I feel like whatever this is, you're closely guarding it. You're working on it late at night, but you're really enjoying it. Like you're inspired by what you're doing, and you feel like I'm willing to go for this, even though it might be hard right now. It might be you might be feeling a little tired, you know, especially with having to balance this, trying to get this thing launched simultaneously with working. It might feel like a huge load to you. But you got your like eyes set on the prize. You're like, no, man, I know this is my wish fulfillment, and it might be hard to keep this balance now, you know, but soon I'll be in a position where I'll be sitting pretty, you know, and then I'll rest. I'll rest once I get there, you know. That might be your kind of vibe right now, all right? I also feel like in matters of the heart, you probably have been dealing more with like sort of like player kind of energy, like people who are more interested. Those of you who are like single and ready to mingle, you probably have been dealing more with like the Casanova kind of type. You know, people who just like want to keep it really on the surface, that kind of player energy. And I think you're holding out for something more. Maybe in that case, you've been just putting more of your energy into your work. And you, thank goodness, it looks like you're really jazzed up about whatever it is you're working on. That's probably helped. It's probably helped the alone time. You're like, okay, you know, if there's no good options in matters of the heart right now, I'm just going to focus on myself, you know, focus on myself. And I trust when it's time that'll come around. And I do think that that will come. I mean, we do see celebration coming in here for you with wish fulfillment. Nine of Cups, very much personal gratification, okay? So I think maybe you have spent a lot of time in your life where maybe you dealt with people who didn't really value your presence. You know, they kind of put you on the back burner. They prioritized other people, and I think now you're sort of like, you know what? I'm going to make myself a priority, and you know, and maybe you can come to my big launch party. And celebrate with me. But I think you're kind of thinking about what really works for you at this time, you know. I do feel like there's something you're preparing to, you know, kick off here. You've been working on it, you've been quiet about it. You know, it's something that's like it promises celebration. I think it'll be successful. A lot of you are going to have like some kind of event, some type of gathering in association with this, okay? It's got like party vibes, you know? It's got like pop some corks and, you know, raise a glass. Let's do a toast. Like, I made it, you know? I did it, you know? I think you're going to feel a real sense of self-satisfaction in this when you achieve this. Tell me about this celebration. What is Leo celebrating? What's coming in with this Pisces blue moon on August 31st? It has Leo celebrating and his wish fulfillment for Leo. We know Leo's been working on something here. Ooh, we got the Magician. Okay, so you're taking some real strong action. You're taking a real strong action. There's something you're really transforming here. It's a brand new start. It's potent. It's powerful. It's, you know, it's got a bit of like, you know, revealing what's been going on behind the curtain, you know. There's something here, it's got like big debut kind of energy. For some of you, it is debuting a relationship, all right? It's like you're heading into, you know, a really dynamic time in your life. Some of you, you're kind of like stepping into, you know, being in a relationship with somebody that maybe it's been something that's more been kind of behind the scenes up until now. That might have been because it was like more casual. Maybe it was like more of a kind of open situation. You still had some kind of freedom in this connection to like do your own thing. Now maybe there's kind of a renewal in this love story and you're feeling more of a sense of commitment to this person. Maybe you really stuck to your guns with that. It's like you're gonna have to make a choice here. You either want to like be with me or, you know, we can be friends, but I'm not going to take it to the next level. This person may not have been really invested before and they might be, you know, wanting to give it a shot. This could be a brand new chapter for you all with the Fool coming in here with the Magician. You may be willing to kind of like start this over again. I feel like something from the past is being transformed, and with that Lion energy coming up here with that Nine of Swords, this may have been just like your own insecurities, your own fears that have held you back in the past. I feel like in terms of your work, you know, I think you're definitely, whatever you've been working on, you're getting ready to like debut it. That's what it feels like. You might be feeling a little anxiety about this. You might have some fears related to this. It might deal with like old insecurities, imposter syndrome kind of stuff. It might feel a little bit daunting to really like break away from the pack and do your own thing. Maybe you're used to working more within like group dynamics. So for you to do something totally on your own, it's a lot. Yeah, but look, you're taking a big action here. I just went to pick up the deck and this got left behind. So you're definitely taking a big action with that blue moon. There's something that comes in on the 31st with that blue moon in Pisces that really lets you know it's go time. All right, it's go time, and you're taking a very bold action. You're done being in hermit mode. You're ready to step forward. You do so, and you really transform your reality, and it looks good. Okay. You might be also in some educational process with this right now with the Page of Pentacles. I feel like right now you're at the stage where you're just, you know, you're at the beginning. You're at the beginning part of this journey where, you know, you're working on this seed that's going to really be your harvest in the future. Okay. You might be studying something. You might be getting some additional education. You're honing your craft. You know, I feel like there's something you're really getting dialed in, and you're working on the presentation. It's like, this is very important to you. And this is all hidden with the moon energy here. All right. I also feel like what is coming forward in you right now, it's kind of behind the scenes. It's hidden. If you're like coming out as a couple, you know, and this is something you've been keeping on the down low, maybe with the Three of Cups energy, because it's been sort of a third party situation. There might be a little compromising stuff to like put a new spin on, you know, with the Magician here before you make this public. You know, you might have some fears about that in the case of a love relationship. I feel like, you know, I do got this energy like putting a new spin on something old. For some of you, it's like you're getting back together with somebody and you have fears about like letting people know that you're back together with this person. I don't know, maybe you had a messy break. Ted said yes. So maybe you had a messy breakup before. Maybe you talked a lot of trash about this person too when you were broken up before, and now you gotta like go and like educate all of your friends, you know, like, well, actually, you know, we're making it official. We're gonna give it another go. And you feel a little foolish, you know, maybe you feel like you jumped the gun. Oh gosh, I got sentience. You might feel like you jumped the gun a bit back there, you know, your fears kind of took over. You didn't want to look like a fool, and so you kind of like badmouth this person. Now you kind of like, you know, you got to take back some of what you said. But I think when it comes down to it, like, you have a lot of passion for this person, and you're like, you know what, I don't care. I'll look like a fool if it means I can work this out with them, you know. But I do feel like there's some aspect of this situation that's hidden, you know. It's been behind the scenes, and I also feel like there's been a lot of fear around this, and you've done a lot of like looking at yourself and really going through even a healing process just in getting to this point where you could really own what you're stepping into now. And I do feel like insecurity has been kind of like a core issue. Like, can I really step into this? And that's on all levels, you know, with what you're stepping into as far as what you've been developing for yourself with this project, this new career direction, this new pursuit, you know, that is like just taking you by storm and has captured all your attention. There's something you're prepared to really bring forward that you've been working on. And I think in that regard, you know, you've been holding back because you keep asking yourself, is it right? Do I need to shift this? Do I need to shift that? And I think you're just about getting ready, you know, with that Nine of Wands in reverse also. I feel like you're just about ready to be done, like kind of keeping this so closely guarded. Whatever this is, you're ready to share it with people, and you're ready to move forward, and you're like, okay, it's like it's a little crazy moving this thing forward. It's not necessarily a smooth ride. You could be dealing with somebody with air or fire in their chart, maybe a little bit of both. Maybe you got a little air or fire in your chart. You know, sometimes that's really like made you feel pulled in two directions. Sometimes you've tried to really like be very logical, do things by the book, what feels like the best way to move forward with something. You might have even had like a mother figure, you know, or somebody that has that feel to you, kind of like guiding you in how to move forward, and you felt really at odds with what this person was telling you to do. And I feel like a little bit of a rebellious spirit coming through for you, okay? I think you've shaken things up a little bit, and I feel like you've also been, you know, kind of weighing out these two sides. We see that with the Two of Pentacles, like there's been this weighing out period you've been through. I think you've been really looking at like, do I follow my head or do I follow my heart? I know I'm passionate about this. I know this is like what lights me up. This is where all my feeling is. And then I also know that there's aspects of this that I wouldn't wish for this, you know, I wouldn't wish for this on anybody, you know, kind of like, I feel like it's sort of like a double-edged sword in this situation. It's like, it's your wish, and at the same time, there's a price to pay with the wish, and perhaps that's what that Two of Pentacles is about. It's sort of like there's a little karmic balancing that has to happen here. Yeah, that's what it is. But I feel like you are going to move forward with this, okay? You are going to move forward with this. We got the Judgment here, and we got the Knight of Swords there too. So this is like actually expressing what you're feeling. This is somebody expressing, communicating, saying what they feel, speaking words from their heart. It's a declaration of love. This was held back from you until now. And like now this person can't hold it in any longer. They have to come out with it. They have to tell you how they feel. When I brought that in, it was 22:23 on the clock. So this is like a rapid change coming into this situation. It may even feel very unpredictable. This might be very unexpected. It's the last thing you ever expected, but it really gets things moving forward. This person letting down their guard and expressing how they feel gets everything moving forward. And I feel for those of you who are heading in a direction where this is involving something you're preparing to launch, you're finally like kind of dropping the artifice and maybe like all the rules about how you're supposed to launch something, what good business looks like, you know, and you're following a more inspired kind of vision. You're taking some risks. The risks are paying off. It may feel a little like, ooh, unnerving, you know, getting there, but what you come out with, what you share, it's different, you know, it's different. It garners attention. It feels good to really just stand in that, in being authentically you and really having it well received. I feel like it's very well received because we see where you were held back before. There's like no more holding this in or holding back. There's like a dropping of the defenses. There's a revealing happening here. There's communication happening here. There's something very decisive being done. There's a very decisive action being taken that's really in alignment with your passion, your purpose, what lights you on fire, what you feel emotionally engaged in and enthusiastic about. And it's like it creates a rebirth in your situation. And I'm looking at the bat energy there. Bats are also good luck. So I feel like, yeah, it may be a little crazy getting here, okay? It may be a little crazy getting here, but you got luck on your side. The risk is worth the reward. You know, you got Judgment there, and right behind that, we got the Emperor, okay? We got the Emperor. Now, you have a lot of Aries significators here. You also have Aquarius significators here. You have Gemini, Libra significators here. Let's see, anything else? We do have a little Earth as well. We got Earth showing up here as well. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Virgo strongly aspected with the Hermit, okay? So these are some players who could be involved in your situation. Aries energy coming through really strong, as well as Taurus, okay? but there's some seed that's being planted here. It took a long time to get here. You've been working on this a while. It's been real slow going, but I'm noticing the dragon back here. So, you know, you've had protection along the way. And I do feel this is something that you've been working on for a while, and it's required you also to do a lot of deep healing work. And I feel like a lot of this healing work has had to do with just your self-esteem, your sense of self, valuing yourself and what you have to contribute, what you bring to the table. And it may have been challenged at times by other people you were dealing with. You may have felt like you were in competition with other people. I feel like that vibe kind of in terms of romantic relationship, like just multiple parties involved, like not feeling really seen, acknowledged, appreciated, feeling like you always had to fight for your spot, not wanting to do that. I think it's because you gave up that. You're like, forget it. I'm walking away from this. I'm not gonna defend this post any longer. That's sort of like the thing that changed everything for you in this situation. In that case, I feel like that person is coming back around the bend, you know? They're like, wait a minute. I thought you would just kind of like sit here and wait for me forever. You're like, no, this doesn't work like that, okay? You had a lot of strength here to overcome this challenge, and it wasn't easy for you either, because with the strength card here, we see there's been some kind of self-mastery that's happened here. You notice that the lion is biting down on the Empress's hand there, but I feel like this is a case where you've had a lot of anger, but you've learned how to like be gentle with yourself when you felt activated, or when you felt frustrated, or when you felt competitive. I feel like these are fiery emotions that you've had to learn how to temper. And you've worked through this, and you've overcome the challenges of the past. And I feel like you've come into balance. You know, you may have been out of balance before, but I feel like you're coming into balance now. And you've done this through having like a lot of gentleness and a lot of compassion towards yourself. You know, I think you really like acknowledge like the child in you. That's what I feel with this Page of Cups energy. For some of you, this has been around a child, and you've been dealing with an emperor figure in your life around a child, and it's been very challenging for you. And you've just been trying to get this person to understand like how important it is that they show up and spend time. Maybe you're in a situation where, you know, you have a child with this person, but you're no longer together, and you've been like trying to balance this out and get this person to understand how important it is for them to actually like show up and spend time with their child. I get like around the father in particular, like, you know, father needs to be here. Like, you need to be an active participant. I feel like something's coming back together. It brings about a healing. It brings a family back together. It brings a community back together. It brings a sense of unity. Again, there are some indications here that, you know, something feels like it's meant to be. You know, the Hierophant here coming in with the Nine of Cups. I think this is definitely like somebody wanting to make a deeper level of commitment. I think in terms of something that's being launched, this is like really making it official. Could be like, you know, going ahead and signing the contract, or could be like getting the business license, or, you know, something along these lines. But in terms of business, like definitely leveling up with Emperor here. A lot of you, this is around work with the Three of Pentacles here. What you're growing now, whoo, man, it is going to be successful with the Six of Wands coming in with the Three of Pentacles and the Emperor. And this is like new contracts, okay? And for some of you, it's both. It's both. You got the big success popping off in your career and what you're developing there. And it's also coming in with this love, you know? It's coming in with this love. And I feel like this new beginning, yep, you got it both. I see it. You know, this is going to start now. A lot of you are going to get married, I have to tell you, or that level of a commitment, okay? This is like somebody who wants to actually, you know, grow with you, build with you, you know, loves you, wants to make the commitment, maybe held back at first, but now they're ready. You know, they see your worth, they see your value now. They're going to really want to move things forward. I feel like with this blue moon coming in, there's going to be a lot of communication that starts coming in. You might even make some travel plans with each other. We got the 8 of Wands to the 10 of Cups to the Ace of Pentacles. You might be planning on moving in with each other, you know, or changing residence, you know, something along these lines. You might even be like traveling together, you know, kind of figuring out where you want to put down roots together. I feel like this is a lot of messages back and forth. This is a time of transformation. For a lot of you, I feel like this is somebody that you've been involved with, but you had challenges in this connection where it was just more superficially oriented before, and it feels like there were multiple people involved, and now this person's kind of like, no, I want to make it real, like legit. This is like renewal of a soul contract, okay? And it's also like really like committing to what you're growing on a business level. It really is both. You got both here in tandem. I think you're committed to what you're growing for yourself, and this is something you really learned through the challenges that you've had in this connection, in this relationship, and in your relationships in the past. You know, you've learned this lesson that at the end of the day, you have to be solid in and of yourself. And maybe you'd always been more focused on the other, and that was your primary focus. Maybe you were really distracted by love. You hadn't really experienced what it was like when you let the focus be you and really invested in yourself and built your own your own base for yourself without it being about the other all the time. So I feel like there is like this piece of empowerment that's come through for you just in terms of what you're building for yourself, and it's very tangible. It's all around finances, and I feel like a big like doing your own thing, going your own way kind of vibe. So for a lot of you, this involves like independent contractor work, or becoming an entrepreneur, or you know, taking on something creatively, and you find somebody that they're ready to like give you a contract. Like, this is something that brings tangible success that's recognized, and there's something connected to it that you're launching. But I feel like also at the same time, it's like you're realizing that, wow, now that I've like really invested in myself, I feel so solid in myself. It's totally opened the way for what that thing that I've really wanted this whole time to come in. And it's like you find somebody who can meet you on this level. Like, this person knows how to share power with you. They know how to share the spotlight with you. They're not intimidated by that. And there's a lot of fulfillment here, but I do feel like there's been a growth process to get here, you know? There was a lot of burden in the past. This thing didn't go anywhere for the longest time. You know, I think that you just kept feeling like you were put on hold and very burdened and in the dark, and you just wanted to see this thing grow more than anything, with the Queen of Swords to the 2 of Wands here. But it just felt like, you know, the opportunity just wasn't arriving, but something's being balanced out here between two people, and it's a brand new beginning in a new direction. It's also you writing your own story, you know, you're writing your own chapter for how you want this next stage of your life to be. Some of you actually wrote something, you're writers. You might be picked up by a publishing company, you know, with this card here. That's the title card for the Paulina Tarot. It's my if wishes were horses, the dreamers would ride. So I definitely think you're moving forward. Again, fire, air reference here. You're moving forward. There is something to celebrate. There's something to toast here. It is coming in Leo season. Look at the way the energy is flowing between the 2 cups. It looks like the Leo season. I feel like, look at that, standing on a diamond. Some of you are going to receive proposals. You're going to have something to toast, you know. You're finally getting to this point with this person. You never thought it would come. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to reveal any secrets, but somebody might be planning, some kind of special surprise for you for your birthday. They're doing a little something behind the scenes. But this looks really good, you know. This is all because you really, you stood on your value and you didn't compromise it. You know, at some point you said enough. I feel like you said enough in love. But I also feel like you said enough with like, take this job and shove it. Like, enough with this. Like, I need something that's more fulfilling. I need something that's more rewarding. I need something that really, you know, speaks to me, that I can really invest myself in. And I feel like you're arriving at this place, but there's a very important contract that you're entering into with the blue supermoon coming up. And I feel like it's the making of your wish come true. And it opens up a brand new chapter in your life. Love is there, okay? Love is there. It definitely is in the mainframe here. There is somebody else involved in this situation that, you know, they get your heart thumping, okay? And I feel like you've had challenges with this person in the past, but this is a brand new chapter for you. You're coming into alignment with each other. It feels really good. I think you've done a lot of looking back at the past in this situation. Whatever was going on back then is being resolved, and you're moving forward in a new way, okay? Let's do a cut of the deck here, and then I'll move on and get like an overarching theme card for you all. Yeah, I mean, this is interesting, okay? This is interesting. Like, I feel like this is because you stood on your worth. Isn't this interesting how this is being mirrored here? Wait until you see what the other side of the pet is. So I feel like this is where you've been, because initially, like, an offer was presented to you. And to me, this particular offer is speaking of the romantic offer. That's what I feel. I mean, you definitely got like business is factoring into your situation, but this here specifically is speaking of the romantic offer. You had somebody who came towards you before, okay? And they made some kind of romantic offer to you, and you're like, that ain't it. Like, that's just not good enough. Do you know how many offers I have on that level of people who just like want to hook up with me? Like, I can get that from anyone. That's not what I want. I want something more. I want this Ace of Pentacles. I'm holding out for that. And you really stuck to your guns. And you're like, I'm not going to compromise. And it's because of that, this person like full on levels up. King of Pentacles comes through. You have the total journey, all right? It went from the Page of Pentacles to the Knight of Pentacles to the King of Pentacles. This shows that this person's grown, okay? They leveled up. They're ready to commit. This is also you've grown in terms of your business aspirations. You may have been okay with just like working for somebody in the past, getting your little paycheck, you know, each week. But then you're like, you know what? No, I think I'm going to like broaden my skill set. I'm going to learn some new things. I'm going to challenge myself to like reach for something more. And you started moving forward in that regard. And I feel like there's some seed that you're planting with that blue moon that brings through some kind of opportunity your way. And maybe you do have to learn some new things, or maybe, you know, there is some kind of like challenge to stepping up into this, because it taps on those places inside of you where you used to feel insecure in the past, but I see you going for it. And it pays off really big. It pays off financially. It pays off in love. Like, whoever's coming towards you now, where they might not have been serious in the past, or they pulled some funny business or put you in a competitive situation, or maybe they were always working. They were too busy to really invest in the connection. Like, they're working it out now, all right? This is Earth sign energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn coming through really strongly here. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's get, I think I want to get a Halloween oracle card here for you, and see what your overarching theme is, huh, Ted? Yeah? Okay, okay. You need to go outside? Okay. You might need to get outside for a bit. I don't know. I got this image of somebody who's just been like really just like inside, you know, working tirelessly at something, or maybe even just like really stressed out, trying to figure something out. Like, I feel like you just need to get out for a bit, you know, get outside, clear your head, get some fresh air, you know. Things are going to come in perfect timing. Right now, you got to remember to just like take a break, you know, from some of the stuff that you've been so diligently focused on, to just, you know, let the energy move too. Don't get so stuck up in your head. I don't know why I keep getting this piece, and perhaps because that nine of swords showed up earlier, and you also have the 10 of wands. That can be a very, like, being burdened by your thoughts, stuck up in your head, feeling a lot of like internalized stress. So you might need to just like get out and about, get some fresh air, even just, you know, to go for a walk or something, clear your head. Yeah, we got skull of darkness. So there's some blind spots here. There's some things that you do need to see. You might need to like get up from your work, what you've been working on so much, especially if you're at a place where you feel like you've reached like some kind of block, especially if you're a writer, if you're having like a writer's block or something like that, or you're just at a place where you're like, oh, I just don't know the next step to bring this thing together that you've been working on, or where you've been trying to figure out like some challenge in your relationship, you know, you don't know how to get to the other side of it. Just, you know, drop it for a moment. You know, sometimes if you try to like figure something out too much, the problem just, you know, grows greater and the solution eludes you. Sometimes you just got to like drop it for a bit. You drop it and then you allow the solution, you know, to come to you instead of you trying so hard to grasp for it. 'Cause that's the thing. Sometimes when you're trying to find a solution, there's too much will, there's too much force involved, and usually solutions are just things that come about rather naturally. So sometimes when you feel really perplexed by something, you're struggling to figure something out, it can help to just like take a break from it for a moment, okay? Yeah, look, there's some, again, blind spots. We got owl in reverse. So there's not clarity here about something. You're still in the dark about something. There's something that remains to be seen. It says wise scene, wise action. So I think that's kind of what you're dealing with this particular lunar cycle leading up to that blue moon, blue supermoon in Pisces on the 20, I'm not sorry. I was going to say the 23rd. So the 23rd of this month might be when the initial change comes in. There might be something significant that happens then, but the blue supermoon is on the 31st, okay? Do kind of circle the 23rd though. I mean, that came in for a reason. 5 energy around that. So there might be something that comes in on that day that's a big change. It's interesting because I think that is the day, the 22nd, the day before is when I believe Venus is square Jupiter. So there might be something that happens then that feels like it could be like a block to your wish fulfillment. So you might feel really challenged at that time. You might feel like taking some impulsive action. You might want to hold back for a minute to just like, maybe that's why you need to go out, get some fresh air. Okay, now you're ready to come back in. Yes, that might be wise, okay? So look for the 23rd as being a potential day when you can be reckless, like too impulsive, because you hear about something, you feel like it's the making of the undoing of your dream. All right, you might be overreacting, you might have a blind spot about the situation, you might not be seeing the whole picture. So try to like pull your energy back, okay? Spend some time to yourself, get yourself kind of grounded so you can see things clearly and take the right action. Whatever you do on that day, don't act if you're not absolutely clear and certain about what you're doing. Don't act when you're feeling really riled up, when you're feeling really heated. The results can be disastrous. If you take that time, okay, to turn within, there's something that's going to become very clear for you, and then you'll be able to make the necessary adjustments. I feel like your opportunity comes in once in a blue moon. You get a chance to shoot your shot, to go for this thing, and it pays off if you just temper some of your impulsiveness a bit. I think this is very important and key for your success in this cycle. Yeah, there's definitely like change coming in a situation that's like really old. This situation has like so much karma around it. It's definitely going down this month. I feel something really important is happening here. I also feel like you felt restricted and you've been unable to move up to this point, but there's something that you can clearly see, 44 on the clock. You're just not wanting to see it. And it's like the key to you being able to move forward in an empowered way and having your wish fulfillment requires that you see it, and that upon seeing it, you make the change necessary, that really acknowledges the truth of what's going on in your situation and what you're feeling. And for some of you, this involves you communicating something and bringing something forward that you've been like holding back for too long, keeping to yourself for too long. Let's do a cut of the deck energy and see what we got here. Lady de los Muertos, acceptance and equality. So I do feel like there's some kind of karma that is being balanced out in this situation. I do feel like as you're preparing to step into this full energy and this big, bold action that you're taking, there's also something that's coming to an end, and that's natural. We never get to the full and that brand new beginning that we're enthusiastic about, and raising up that Ace of Wands to take that passionate, inspired, sure action, until we first close the old cycle with the world. So you could be dealing with a fixed sign energy. You could be dealing with Scorpio. You could be dealing with Aquarius. You could be dealing with Taurus. You're obviously very affected with Leo. You are a fixed sign. It might not be so easy for you to just like let go with the flow. But if you do, you got that wheel carrying you forward. I got big wheel in the sky, keeps on turning energy. So Journey, you might want to listen to that song. You might not know where you're going tomorrow, but you're going to get there, okay? I feel like your connecting point is coming with that blue moon. As something breaks open at that time, look, it involves forgiveness. There's some kind of healing happening in a situation where you've really been at odds with someone. And it says reducing burden, I do feel like there's something here before you step into this 10 of Cups, your fulfillment, your happiness, and your alignment with your path, okay? But also your path with another that you're meant to share with another. It doesn't happen until you have the courage to like, let this go, okay? There's something that you need to release here. There needs to be forgiveness in this situation. For those of you who are healing an old connection, and you've decided that, you know what, I'm not willing to let this go. If I let this go, it's going to haunt me the rest of my life with the ghost and regret. I'm never going to be able to forgive myself for not letting them, not letting them know how I feel, not letting them know how much they mean to me. So I do feel like there's a vulnerability happening here in a situation in terms of love where there's been too much defensiveness. And you're taking a risk. I feel like you're going to speak from your heart, and you're going to regret it if you don't, but there is something here too. I feel like there's some part of this situation where something has to be accepted, and it might be difficult to accept this aspect, but it's in doing so that the karma is balanced. There's a release. And then you get to move forward to the fun stuff. You get to move forward toward this like trick or treat energy, which is all about mischief and play, and somebody who, knows how to have a good time. I think that you're going to have a lot to look forward to on Halloween this year. I think fall is going to be really good for you. I think it's going to be more fun, spirited time for you. I see you doing some traveling. You might go to New Orleans. I don't know why I got that, but that's something that just came through. Maybe you're going to go to New Orleans for the holidays. Maybe you're going to go to the vampire ball. There's a vampire ball that goes on there. Interesting for that to come through. But, I feel like you're going to go, you're going to have yourself a good time. And you're just going to have a lot of fun in the fall, and you have somebody to share it with. And it looks like it could be somebody that you've been involved with before. You've been through some rough stuff with each other, but somebody here is letting down their guard. They're letting down their defenses, and they're speaking from the heart. And there's some kind of healing, forgiveness happening here, and an agreement to, let the past be the past. And if you're deciding to move forward with this person, it's really like the death to that old cycle. You got to start out brand new. You got to start out real fresh. It can't be about continually dredging up the past. There has to really be a willingness to commit to the new cycle, which involves really releasing the old energy. All right, I still feel like, I don't know why, but I feel like I want to get a super awesome future card too. I want to get just a little bit more detail. One more pass for overarching theme. It is your solar return. Okay. Oh well, why don't we do that? That's kind of fun. Can we have an overarching theme for this next trip around the sun for Leos? What is their birthday theme? I think this is going to be an important year for you because even just talking about it right now, I already got sentience coming in. Okay, so I feel like this is a really important year for you. I feel like you're going to be intuitively guided forward. I think there's going to be a lot of clues, you know, kind of lined up like breadcrumbs on your path that are going to show you exactly where you need to go, who you need to go there with. Okay, that's interesting. Bottom of the deck energy. Yeah, I mean, I feel like this is what you've been dealing with. You went through a kind of like a bad luck cycle. I feel like things have been really rough. Things have been really hard. It's interesting because I'm seeing just like all these like hoodoo references here. The 13th, that's interesting. You know, you might have number 13 might be significant for you for some reason. Some of you may feel very connected to the goddess Freya. Friday the 13th is Freya's day. Okay, that coming through. Some of you might have Norse roots. Freya also has a chariot that is drawn by cats. Okay, so interesting piece here. You may have a black cat. You may be very in alignment with fast. I'm picking up like a lot of spirituality in relation to this, but I feel like maybe you've been trying to find the answers. Maybe even you've been trying to do some workings. Maybe you did some spell work. It kind of backfired on you. You've been clearing out the karma of that. I feel like you're getting to the other side of this, though. You might have gone through a period of reversal that made you really like reflect on yourself, like really have a look at yourself. You had to peer into your shadow a bit. You really owned your part in that, like how you played a role in what went down. I think there's a lot of karma being cleared in this situation. You might also have a metaphysical business, or that might be something you've been working on behind the scenes. You might have been thinking about ways you may have sabotaged yourself from seeing the kind of success you wanted to see. You've been doing some revamping. You're ready to move forward in a new way, you know, and turn that energy around. Some of you have had to get rid of a lot of people in your circle, and you realize that there were people that weren't very loyal to you. You thought these were your people, but they're not. You're starting to realize that, you know, I don't really feel connection here. You're ready to head off in a new direction. I think this might be what you're closing up. It sort of feels like you're around new people, you're meeting new people. It's like as you start to move away from these energies that were disloyal to you, you start to notice your luck improving, all right? It's amazing how much your life can change just according to the company you keep, all right? So this is pretty significant. You know, it's always great to hang around with people that inspire you. You know, if you're hanging around people that inspire you, it can bring some, you know, opportunities for growth your way. Yeah, I see you are going to be, you know, working really hard, you know, to bring something forward. I do feel like there's education involved in whatever you're taking on this year. You're expanding your education. There's times when this is going to feel burdensome, probably because of travel related to this. You know, you might work in one location, but your school's in another. There might just be a lot of commute time. You know, you might be required to make a move. You've already moved multiple times. This feels overwhelming to you. I also feel like you're still like going to be in this period of kind of like weighing out your head and your heart. Here's the 9 energy. 9 makes me think of the Hermit. The Hermit came up for you. That is Virgo's card. You could be dealing with a Virgo, and you could feel like, you know, really conflicted about this. Your head tells you one thing, your heart tells you another. There's been a lot of grief in this situation. It's been really difficult to get this situation to move forward. But there's some kind of key, okay, that you're being presented here that's going to help you open up a door of opportunity this year. And it's really about you coming into alignment with what's going to put you on purpose, but at the same time, give you the healing that you need. And I feel in your case, there is a change coming here. There's somebody that you're like, you're calling it even with, all right? You're like just agreeing to like disagree. You're shaking hands on it. You might be a little like, meh, you know, begrudging, but at the same time, you just don't want to fight anymore. And you know that something else is meant for you. And there's a message coming in from that someone or something else. And this opportunity is what will be presented to you. All right, overarching theme here. We got all this stuff. Oh my goodness. Yes, 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 yes. I think that, you dealt with somebody before, I think you went through multiple towers with this person. Every time they pulled a fast one with you, they'd come back around, kiss up energy. Maybe they would try to buy your affection. You felt like this person was really selfish to the extreme. Could have been somebody born in the year of the pig. You thought you were going to have a lot of happiness, wish fulfillment with this person. It always seemed to elude you. You did a lot of fighting in this situation. This is in reverse. Okay, I feel like this is the person that's coming back around. You might be making some agreements with this person. You're going to get a message from this person. You're not sure if you should even receive the message here. This person, for that dogs to show up earlier, they proved themselves to be really disloyal to you. So I think you're going to be like, I don't know. And you're really remembering what this person brought into your life. Drinking could have been an issue. This person brought a lot of chaos, a lot of change into your life, but you also had a lot of growth. And yeah, I see you here. A lot of you are choosing, to kind of go your own way, close cycle on that, because you really realize you felt really good, when you started focusing on yourself. And I think this is really wise, because it's in doing that who you're meant to align with comes in for you. And it brings something beautiful. And there is somebody here, you're ready to let it go. You're ready to remember the good times. No hard feelings. This is a card very much about forgiveness and, really treasuring the sweet times. But there's something you're leaving behind so you can head towards what you're really meant to step into now. And that certainly involves another person who's there to meet you on the other side of this release. And it looks beautiful.